What's going on? Luke with USA Carry here, and today we're reviewing the Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P 9 Shield Plus Crimson Trace. I think that might be the longest gun name ever. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield line of pistols. It started with the original M&P Shield, a micro compact 9 that holds 7+1, coming in at an MSRP of $385. Along with Smith & Wesson's known reliability, it quickly became a huge popular concealed carry pistol. Then there's the M&P Shield M2.0, which incorporated some of the features from their M2.0 series of pistols. There's also the Shield Easy line, which is just easier to rack. Once the micro compact pistols with the higher capacity started coming out, like the 365 and the Hellcat, I kind of had a hard time recommending the Shield over one of those, where you basically get the same size gun with more capacity. Then on March 15th, 2021, Smith & Wesson released the Shield Plus, which is basically the same size as the original Shield, but it holds 10+1. You can see both of them side by side here. Since what I have is the Performance Center edition, the slide and barrel are longer than the original, but you can still get a good comparison from the grip and the width. So when Smith & Wesson told me they were sending me one, I was looking forward to getting my hands on it. This is one of the micro compact 9s I haven't got my hands on yet. The next one I'll be reviewing is the Ruger Max 9, which is still sitting at the gun store, which I'm probably gonna go pick up after I'm done filming this. And when I went to pick this gun up, I noticed a Performance Center box, and then I realized I wasn't getting the regular Shield. They sent me the Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P 9 Shield Plus Crimson Trace. Long name, it's just the Performance Center edition of the Shield Plus with a Crimson Trace red dot on top. So let's go over some of the features that you'll get if you decide to go with the Performance Center edition. Now, the first thing you can choose is whether it is optics ready or not. I notice if you select not optics ready, it is not cut for an optic. But if you select yes, it is cut for an optic, but it also adds the Crimson Trace red dot, which adds another $266 to the price tag. I haven't seen it to where you can buy it without the red dot, but I could be wrong. The Crimson Trace red dot has the Shield standard footprint, as in Shield sights, not the Smith & Wesson Shield. So there's a few other optics that will mount directly to the slide, like the Shield RMS, the RMS-C, the SIG Romeo Zero, the Delta Point Pro, to name a few. You can mount a Holosun 407 and 507K to these, but you do have to do some modifications on the indexing lugs, and we're not going to get into that in this video. Now, if you select no under optics ready, then you get the option to select a manual thumb safety or not. If you selected yes for the optics ready, it defaults to no thumb safety, and you don't have an option to choose a thumb safety. Then you can select it with a ported barrel and slide or none. So those are your options. What Smith & Wesson sent me was the optics ready Crimson Trace optic and no ported barrel and slide. All Performance Center versions come with fiber optic sights. You've got red in the back, green in the front. Moving along to the slide, as I mentioned, you've got the cut for the optic, and with the Performance Center versions, you have a longer slide and a 4-inch barrel. This is the original Shield, but it's the same size, so comparing it on top, you can see it's a little bit longer. The standard Shield has a 3.1-inch barrel. It doesn't have any forward serrations, but it does have these fish scale-like serrations here, which actually works pretty good if you're doing a press check over the top from there. You've got some rear serrations, these little wavy ones, and these have been pretty much the same since the original Shield. You've got your takedown lever on the left side. I'm not going to be taking this down because YouTube doesn't like that stuff. And then you've kind of got like a little ledge here. So it's a good indexing point of where my thumb lands. The only thing reversible on this is the magazine release here. And the magazine release is kind of rounded. I think it's the same texture on here. So when my thumb hits it, it really sticks. It doesn't feel like it's moving around anywhere. Whereas the texture on the original Shield, it's more kind of like blotchy and it's almost smooth. So I feel like my thumb has less tendency to slip when I'm doing mag releases with that texture on there, which is kind of nice. The grip texture is that kind of micro dot. It's pretty aggressive. It's similar to some of the other grip textures that are out now. And like I said, comparing it to the original Shield, it's kind of blotchy and smoother. I've said it before, I like this kind of micro dot texture. When I was shooting it, the gun wasn't moving around in my hand at all, and I was sweating my ass off like I usually am. I'm outside of New Orleans and it's just always hot. And then the rest of the frame that doesn't have texturing on it has a pretty smooth finish. The original Shield has somewhat of a texture on the frame, whereas this is just pretty smooth. It does not have a rail on the front, so you can't mount a light or a laser on there unless Crimson Trace or somebody comes out with one of those trigger guard light laser combo things. I'm not worried about putting lights on a small pistol like this, so that doesn't bug me at all. It would have been nice to have one so I could mount my Manus X10 to it when I'm doing live and dry fire training, but I can always attach that to the magazine plate using one of their magazine adapters. The trigger is completely different than the previous Shield models. On the Shield Plus, you got a flat face trigger versus a hinged curve trigger that's on the other Shield models. It has a wide trigger safety, which this doesn't bother me at all. The trigger itself on it is really nice. I think this might be the nicest trigger I've gotten on a stock gun recently. It has a clear wall, short break, short reset. It's just a really nice trigger in my opinion. The Performance Center Edition does come with a PC-tuned action, which is supposed to offer shooters a cleaner, audible, tactile trigger reset that allows for rapid follow-up shots on target. It's a good trigger. All right, I already lost count, but on average, it did 5.65 pounds on my Lyman trigger pull gauge. It comes with 2 magazines. You get a flush fitting 10 round mag and a extended 13 round mag. With the 10 round mag, obviously it's flush fit, so you get that subcompact size grip. With this gun, I can kind of get some of my pinky around there. I can still get a good grip on the gun. I'd still opt for the pinky extension if I was carrying it with this, because that doesn't affect any concealability. It would have been nice if they threw the pinky extension in with the kit, but they didn't. You can buy those aftermarket. With the 13 round mag, you get a compact size grip, which allows me to get a full size grip on it. And unless you're an ogre, I'm pretty sure you can get a full size grip on it as well. I do like having the option of having a compact grip or a subcompact grip just by changing out the magazines. Lately, I've been carrying my Glock 48, which is the compact size grip. Is about basically the same size as this pistol. And once I switched to a couple new holsters, I didn't have any problems concealing that, but I'll get to that in another video. So if I were carrying this gun, I'd probably be carrying it most of the time with the 13 round pistol in it. But I do like being able to have the option to go smaller if you're doing some kind of deep concealment, or the 13 round mag is printing on certain clothes, you can go smaller. And obviously, if you do go with the smaller magazine, the flush fit magazine, you're still getting a 4-inch barrel, which is pretty cool. I used to carry my Glock 43 with a Glock 48 slide on it, just to have a longer barrel, and it also helped with concealment. I know that might not make sense, but having a longer barrel can help with concealment when you're carrying appendix, and again, we'll get into that in another video. And now, with all of that out the way, I'm sure you're wondering, how did it shoot? Well, I'd have to say this is probably the fastest shooting gun review I've done in a while. I got to the range, I fired about 500 rounds in a few hours and was out the range before it got too hot. Most of the ammo I shot was CCI Blazer brass. I did shoot some Red Army steel case ammo and then some assorted hollow points that I had in my range bag. I was in and out of the range so quick because 1, I had 0 issues with this gun, and 2, I finally remembered to bring my Uplula mag loader, since I was by myself loading mags, and usually I'm by myself loading mags. So from the first mag to the last mag, I had 0 issues, no malfunctions whatsoever. I came into that expecting that from Smith & Wesson. I don't think I've ever had any issues with their guns. And it was actually a pretty fun gun to shoot. It's got a longer barrel, so it's not as snappy as some of the other micro compacts like the Hellcat and whatnot. I felt like I was able to control the recoil pretty well and get back on target pretty quick. As I mentioned earlier, the trigger felt great, so no issues there at all. This is the first time I've used this Crimson Trace red dot. It worked fine, no issues. It was already zeroed enough, so I didn't have to mess with that at all. And it has pretty much the same window size as the Shield RMSC, which is what I'm used to on my Glock 48, so I didn't really think much of it when I was shooting it, just kind of natural. Other than that, it shot great. All right, so time to wrap this thing up. The main thing I like about this gun is the longer barrel. That's a huge plus to me. And being able to switch between a long and shorter grip out of the box is awesome. So no matter if you're going with the short flush fit magazine, you're getting 11 rounds, 1 in the chamber, 10 in the mag. And if you go with the extended magazine, you're getting 14 rounds, 13 in the mag, 1 in the chamber. So would I carry this pistol? For sure. You're getting an awesome compact gun that holds either 11 or 14 rounds, depending on which magazine you're using, and you're getting the Smith & Wesson reliability that they've been known for. So yeah, there you have it. That's my review on the Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P 9 Shield Plus Crimson Trace. And if you stuck around and watched this whole thing, I'd appreciate if you could do me one last favor. Go and hit the subscribe, the like button, maybe leave a comment. That stuff really helps out the channel more than you can even know. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.